cap hit. So Justin Fields, think about this. Starts his career with a broken franchise, a defensive head coach, and a defensive culture in Chicago. And then he goes to a solid franchise with a defensive head coach and a defensive coach in Pittsburgh. Culture and coach, Pittsburgh. And now where does he go? With another defensive coach, another broken franchise. I know how this will end. Not good. If he would have landed a Sean Payton or a Sean McVay out of college, I think you'd have seen the very best of Justin Fields. I don't know how good that is, but it's better than what you've seen. And so here's a fact. The really good young quarterbacks, even with average rosters like the Washington Commanders or the Bengals with Joe Burrow, they make it look easy. The accuracy is easy. The fluidity, just they move. I mean, Burrow and Jaden Daniels, bad rosters, lots of wins. Justin Fields, everything looks hard. And the other thing is that Jaden Daniels, shockingly, his best quarter is the fourth quarter. He is an unbelievable fourth quarter quarterback. Justin Fields, Jaden Daniels is great in the fourth. Justin Fields, a career disaster. His passer rating in the fourth, 67. Completes 56% of his throws. So Justin Fields is 0 for 22 in his career when his team allows more than 20 points. So he gets his third defensive culture. He gets his third defensive coach, and we've talked about this a lot, is it just matters where you land and who you land with. You don't think Bo Nix was helped by Sean Payton? You don't think Cliff Kingsbury helped Jaden Daniels? All this stuff matters. I mean, Sam Darnold was dead and buried, gets Kevin O'Connell. He was fighting for the MVP in week 14, 15. So I don't know what Justin Fields would have been had he landed McVay, but it's better than what I've seen. He's a bad fourth quarter quarterback. He's not good on third down. He doesn't feel, he looks the part, like big athletic moves, but very few guys pop in year 4. And if they do, it's because they landed in a really good organization or with a great offensive coordinator or a great offensive culture, like Baker got a great OC or Darnold got a great offensive head coach and a great receiver. This for Justin Fields is just more of the same. It's the Bears, it's the Jets, it's the broken offensive culture in Pittsburgh. I just know how it's going to end. J-Mac, $150 million in 5 years. That's buying a house to save the marriage. The Steelers can't get the offensive line right. They can't get quarterback right. They spend too much money on defense, defensive culture. 25th in rushing average, 25th in the NFL. So let's throw a Hail Mary to save our offense. What's ironic is the one position that the Steelers draft and develop exceedingly well on offense is wide receiver. They've been great at it for 20 years. Go back to Hines Ward. They always draft and develop wide receiver. So why spend $150 million on it? And the Steelers thinking they can solve their offensive issues, which have been awful, not only since Big Ben retired, but about the last 2 years of Big Ben, thinking you can solve your offense by adding another expensive, high-maintenance wide receiver is like thinking you can solve your car troubles by putting in some premium leather seating. Yeah, that ain't it, man. George Pickens and DK Metcalf? Okay, you know how A.J. Brown was reading a book on the sidelines? In Pittsburgh, they need a library card. I mean, these guys want the ball now. I mean, oh, yeah, there's another rumor out there with the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is talking to him. Good hell. What are you trying to be? A rock band that trashes the hotel room? I said this last week. DK Metcalf with a very solid quarterback in Geno Smith. Geno's a very solid quarterback. I'll get to him later. He only accounted for 35 first down catches. Okay, that's half of Amon St. Brown. And the Steelers are not very solid at quarterback. They've been experimenting, it feels like, for the last 5 or 6 years. So I am not player hating. I'm situation hating. If you went to a team like DK Metcalf went to Kansas City, where they've kind of struggled. I mean, Rashee Rice is good but in trouble. Xavier Worthy, good but in trouble. They've had several misses. You go DK Metcalf to Kansas City in that strong culture offensively, you could talk me into it. How about Houston and C.J. Stroud? You could talk me into it. But Pittsburgh doesn't know offense, doesn't have a feel for it. They're not good at quarterback. They're not good on the offensive line. I mean, again, this is a team the last 2 seasons that has been Pittsburgh 31st in pass attempts, which has driven George Pickens crazy. So let's add another receiver that's expensive and is going to demand the football. I say it out loud. DK Metcalf said the 2 things he wanted: warm weather and a solid quarterback situation. Those boxes are left unchecked. So not all wide receiver acquisitions are the same. It's about feel. It's about fit. It's about, does your organization do offense well? And I'll go from that because I think this is a desperate move. Let's Devontae Adams. Now, DK Metcalf is in his prime. Devontae Adams isn't. So I wouldn't like this move. No, it's different. I do like this move because of Sean McVay, the offensive culture. They've already got a number 1 in Puka Nacua. So if Devontae now is a 1A or a 2, it fits. This is very much, this move by the Rams, it's essentially a 1-year deal. It's very similar to Jimmy Butler going to the Warriors. The Rams are lining up all their offensive pieces around Matt Stafford because the Rams feel like, hey, we've got 1 to 2 years of great Matt Stafford left. That's what the Warriors felt. We got a couple of years of Steph being great. Let's get him a legit 2. So Sean McVay knows offense. The Rams have a feel for offense. And they've got an incredible defense that is young and super cheap, so they're flexible. This is a totally different move. And that's why I wanted to juxtapose the Steelers' move, which feels like a desperate Hail Mary to solve an ailing offense, and the Rams' move, which feels like a very substantive 1, maybe 2-year deal to line up in an excellent offensive culture with Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. That's the difference. Remember, the Rams have said publicly, we're moving off Cooper Kupp. And now I don't know if Devontae is in his prime. I think he's probably just left the prime. He's definitely not twilight. So he's somewhere in between prime and twilight. But in the last 3 years, Devontae Adams is tied for 2nd in the NFL in touchdowns for wide receiver. Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and Aaron Rodgers off an Achilles surgery. So this is a very good fit. In fact, if you look at the Rams, they made another receiver move this weekend that it's a tell. They're telling you what they're trying to do. They re-signed to a 1-year deal, Tutu Atwell, who's been a little bit of a semi-bust. Why did they do that? And they even paid him $10 million for 1 year because they're telling you, this next year, we think we can win a Super Bowl. So why bring in a young receiver when we got Devontae, Puka, Tyler Higbee, the excellent tight end, probably a B-plus tight end, running back, O-line set. They re-signed their left tackle. They're going for the Super Bowl because the Rams and McVay are thinking in a snowstorm against the best team in the league on the road in Philly, we're at the 13-yard line looking to go in with a tying touchdown. PAT wins it, and we're going to the NFC Championship. So this is a classic example. DK Metcalf to a huge long-term deal to the Steelers feels desperate.